So a landlord in Ghana is currently going viral because they rented out their property to a tenant in Ghana and the tenant turns it into a nightclub. This story is going viral right now. It's actually diabolical. And I want to spend some time here on live just discussing this situation. So guys, if you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm going live today, and as you can probably tell, I've been dealing with a flu, and that's probably why some people haven't seen a lot of my content in the past week or two. But I said I need to come and jump on live. I'm just going to come raw. I didn't even get time to even do myself up. I was like, nah, this story we need to discuss. How can somebody rent out their house to a tenant and that tenant turns it into a club? Guys, we're about to discuss. So guys, if you're new to the channel, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell, because on this channel we speak about all things relating to Ghana real estate. And yeah, please do also give this video a thumbs up, just because I'm going live and somehow, some reason why, I don't know why, but when it comes to my lives, it doesn't really get pushed out well. So guys, please do me a favor, drop in the comments what you would do if this was you as well. I want to see if this situation was you. Let me know in the comments. And for those of you that are already joining me live right now, please drop it in the comments. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Can you hear me okay? I mean, I've literally lost my voice for like the last 2 weeks. It's been crazy. I don't know what flu is going around. And it's only now that I can actually speak full sentences. I mean, you can probably hear I'm a bit croaky. But yeah, so drop it in the comments right now where you guys are tuning in from, because we're going to get into this story. I just posted it on my Instagram and my TikTok. It's already started to go a bit my TikTok already, and so we're going to unpack this situation, this story. I can see a few of you already watching, you're already tuning in, so please do let me know where you guys are tuning in from. And yeah, I can see you guys already up here. Amazing. Hey, East Legon, Ghanaian, massive, thank you so much for tuning in, appreciate it. So yeah, let's get into this story. So none of you probably seeing this going around right now. A lady whose mum lives in the States had rented out a property around the Osu area. For those of you that are based in Ghana or know about Ghana, Osu is a very well-known place in Ghana. And basically what happened is that she rented out this house to a person, a tenant. And essentially that tenant turned it into a nightclub. So I want us to have a watch of what she basically had to say. Actually, before I do that, let me even show you a video of what I'm going to show you a video. Let me show you. Let's look at this. Let's look at this and show you what actually happened here. Let me show you this. So guys, this, just to put things into context, this was a house. And the house basically, yeah, has been transformed into a nightclub. Like, I hope you guys are with me. I hope you guys are with me. This has been transformed into a nightclub, okay? Like a nightclub. So let me show you this. Let me explain. Sorry, I feel this video, this is crazy. This is actually diabolical. The house they actually rented, I wish I had a picture. The house they rented out to this tenant was a black house, a residential property. This is what the tenant had done. Some people might even be able to find this property on Instagram, this club on Instagram. I don't even know if I've been to this place, by the way. But like, it was a full-blown bar. Check this out. So here, when they found out about the situation, they decided to take him to court. And as you can see here, they're putting up the court orders on the gate, you know, to let him know that he's been summoned. So you can see that situation, right? You can see that right now. You can see what essentially happened in the sense that this lady, and I'll show you a video of her shortly, rented out this property as a house, right? And it became a nightclub. It became a nightclub. So she shares her story on social media, on her TikTok. The video's gone viral. I put it on my Instagram, it went viral. I put it on TikTok, it went viral. Like, this is a crazy story, and only in Ghana, like only in Ghana. So check this out. Let me show you this. Let me show you this.
That fell victim to this situation. And I do want to give you guys a part 2, but I feel like I should just give you a brief story time or whatever, just to add some clarification and maybe answer some questions I was getting in the comments. So we'll do that very quickly, and then I'll get back to you guys later with all the footage and all the stuff. All right, so boom. Back in 2020, my mom renovated this house all through the summer.
So this property is her mum's house, right? Her mum lives in the States and she lives in Ghana. So she's explained the fact that she had rented it out. Her mum had basically used her retirement money to renovate this place that they had in the Osu area, right? And those of you that know me, the reason why I even have my channel is because I'm always about encouraging people to actually buy property in Ghana and rent it out to generate income. So it's basically what these guys have done. They basically have a property available and they wanted to rent it out to generate some income.
And fall after we were coming out of lockdown. She invested a lot of her retirement money to bring the house from that old school version that you guys saw in the first frame into something that was more modern. So I'm currently in the house right now, just to give you an example. Like, the POP was done by her. She redid all the tiles in every single bedroom, redid the showers, put in water heaters, the whole works. Like, it was a typical old school Ghanaian house, and she modernized it before we gave it to this tenant. Early 2021 into 2022 is when this whole debacle was starting. He told us that he wanted somewhere residential that he could host his business partners when they come into town. I guess he does a lot of business with foreigners, and he didn't want to put them up in the hotels.
Ghanaians can lie. Ghanaians can lie. Wow, what a story.
So we understood that he was renting a house that from time to time he would accommodate, or he would let his business associates stay in. I hope that's clear. There was no indication whatsoever about this being a bar, a private club, anything that would commercialize it. That was not, we were not privy to that. If we knew that, the rent would have been way higher.
The guys that have just tuned in, let me know in the comments, what would you do if this was you? You just found out that your house has been rented. You rented out your property to somebody and they had transformed. You've got a contract, like it was meant to be residential. Bear in mind, in Ghana, there are rules around where you can do residential and where you can do commercial because there's zoning laws. So those of you that are new to my channel, you know that I educate people about various things about what you can actually do in Ghana. This person had taken a residential property and transformed it into commercial property. Let me know in the comments what you guys would do. If this was you, what would you actually do?
I'll say we started to notice that he was making changes not even like 2 months into the lease. I actually had made a visit here. I think I was with one of the workers and I think like a cousin of mine, and we stopped in. We realized he had repainted the entire place without our knowledge, and he started to he had knocked down, we had an outdoor gazebo. He had knocked it down and started to build some sort of structure. So that's originally where the problem started.
It wasn't just the gazebo that he knocked down. He built a swimming pool in this property. I'll show you the video again of how they transformed it. Like, he built a swimming pool in this property. So if you remember, I think I showed you this video here. Like, there is a swimming pool here. Like, literally swimming pool. Okay. Yeah. I might show you a picture of their Instagram page as well. I'll show you a picture of their Instagram page while I'll bring it up and I'll share the screen. But basically, they didn't, like, the property did not have a swimming pool before. This guy built a swimming pool in their house just to do a bar.
So obviously, as landlords do, we had confronted him about the situation. Now, there's various parts of the story which I won't go into too much detail with because I'm not trying to give too much away. There were various conversations and like confrontations that we had with him with regards to all these changes being made, right? I felt like he would either beat around the bush or make it seem like he was benefiting us by adding this stuff. And I think in order for my mom to get her rent and her return on investment, we were allowing a certain amount of leeway, which I now regret. But at the same time, like he was going absolutely overboard with it. And it got to the point where his own security would not allow us to get onto the property and see what was going on. Another question, how did we find out it was a bar? Well, a few things. One, the neighbors told us about the noise complaint. Two, I had been invited to a soft opening for a local bistro bar by my friend, we'll call her Amy. Amy was like, I got a little cute spot, let's go have some champs, let's chill with the girls. When I tell you that I was following the address to come, and I was like down on Ring Road, and I was coming around the corner, I was like, my mom's house is in this neighborhood. Lo and behold, the bar is my mom's house. At that point, I realized like it was too far gone. The pool had been put in, an outdoor kitchen had been built. Like the whole entire compound was so drastically changed. So instead of making a scene, I did like record everything. I told my mom about it. I had videos of everything. But that was at that point where we were like, okay, we're not being paid our worth. We need to like go back to the drawing board. But our biggest fear, besides any of the rent or like what he was doing, because I know some people were like, oh, we saw a restaurant and we wanted a restaurant back. None of us are restaurateurs. We're not trying to run a bar or a restaurant or like, no, this is a residential building. We are a family. We were trying to rent it out to other families or people who were family oriented. We didn't want to turn this into a commercialized business.
So you can see that they had no intention to, sorry, excuse me, those of you that just joined, hey, and apologies, I'm dealing with a flu, so apologies for my voice. But they had no intention to make it they could have done it into a lounge themselves, right? But this guy took it upon himself to rent out a property, a house. Imagine you going to rent out a property, a house, a family house, and you convert it into a full-blown lounge. Their family had no intention doing this. Okay, but he decided to do it. So check this.
I think one big factor was we were almost really desperate to get our return on investment and really just needed him to pay the rent. And what he would do sometimes, which is really embarrassing to admit, is he would like give us just a little bit of rent to like keep us at bay. And then we would be chasing and chasing and chasing, and he would ignore our calls. At one point, which is really sad.
Why in Ghana should anybody chase people for rent? Like, this is so important. So when it comes down to you, especially buying property in Ghana and having tenants, you need to make sure you've got as much information about your tenants as possible. You should never be having to chase people for rent. You know, this guy is running a full-blown club, yet he's there popping bottles, yet they're chasing him for rent. Look, they even went to I remember when I was running my transportation business, so where people have rented my cars, and they'll be giving me a little bit. And also people have done, I've learned the hard way. They'll sweet talk you, they'll give you a little bit just to keep you quiet for some time, knowing full well they're not coming to pay you all the money. That's basically what this guy ended up doing to them.
At one point, he had me, my sister, and my mom waiting in a parking lot outside of Echo Bank to wait for him to come and pay rent. He had us waiting there for like 4 hours and he never showed up. These are all instances of the type of human being we were dealing with. Our biggest fear was that he was doing all of these changes in order to eventually take the house from us. This was a serious conversation I had with family members, with my mom and everything, that because my mom doesn't stay in Ghana, I live in Ghana, but my mom is in the States. So we were thinking that he was like kind of slithering his way into essentially making this property his, and when it was time to take the house back after the 5 years, he would have done something with maybe Ghana Lands Commission or something to claim that he had invested a certain amount in the property and the house was his. Listen, I know that sounds ridiculous, but this is Ghana. Anything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible in Ghana. And so I actually don't blame her having that thought and a mentality. And to the extent, in Ghana, when it comes to, especially when you're renting out properties in Ghana, most tenants, the expectation that a tenant, when they move in, if they put in new tiles, they put in like, they will normally have to put the place back into the same position that it was in when they took it out. So in the UK, for example, you just factor in the fact that the person's moving out. You need to like have a bit of budget for when the person moves out. But in Ghana, no, if you're renting somewhere, typically you would repaint the property and put it back into the state of repair that you had it in when you purchased it. But what this guy is trying to say is that he actually had basically done more than necessary for the property, built a new swimming pool, painted the place, renovated the place, so that in essence, the money that he's invested outweighs the rent that he's even paying, if that makes sense. That's how he was trying to make it seem. And so for what I can gather from the story is that she was a bit worried that he might have done all these changes to now go to behind the scenes to like land commission. And you know, in Ghana, people can do anything and basically say, look, I've done all these changes to this property, and in essence, the property is mine because of all the money I've spent doing the property. That's what she was afraid of. And the truth of the matter is that anything could happen. What do you guys think about that? Like, would you guys be afraid of that happening to you? Drop it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. And guys, if you're already here and you haven't done so far already, please do subscribe to my channel, because I'm all about, you know, making sure people are aware of what happens in the real estate market in Ghana, and also helping you guys to invest safely in Ghana as well. But this lady as well, she had a property in the Osu area, and this guy has basically rented the property from her and made it into a full-blown club.
Anything is possible. Anyway, the video is long enough as it is. I'm so sorry, guys. I just wanted to make sure that I touched on a few things before I send you guys or like show you guys the part 2, because there's so much more that is said through all the footage that I have, and I recorded as much as possible. I think once we had found out that he had changed this bar, immediately we were like, we need to take legal action. We were looking for a lawyer. We even ended up firing one lawyer because he was highly incompetent, and we got a new one, and God bless Nana, I absolutely love her. But she really saved us, you know. And I think it was about a 2-year uphill battle, and it was probably one of the most difficult things I think my family has had to go through with regards to just trying to keep a house and reclaim something that was ours. So yeah, I will get the part 2 stuff to you guys as soon as I can, but thank you for listening, and I really, really, really appreciate all the empathy. I'm not gonna get it.
So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this story, because I think it's mad. It's been seen, it's been watched over 2 million. Like, there's over 2 million views on this video, and her sharing her story. I posted it, and then there was some comments. I want us to like check out some of these comments, because some people are, there's two sides. There are two people. Yeah, 2 years. Exactly. It's been a 2-year battle. But I want to know, are you guys like, generally, do you guys think that the tenant was smart? Like, this is a question. I mean, do you think the tenant was like, I mean, it's like a situation where it's not right, but it's okay, you know? Or do you think the landlord should have seen red flags, and the moment that he was making the changes, she should have stopped? Let me know in the comments what you guys think, because I think there's two schools of thoughts here. I pull it up on my Instagram and my TikTok literally just a few hours ago, and the comments, I want us to go through some of the comments, because yeah, there are literally people like one side. Some people have like thoughts on the tenant, some people have thoughts on the landlord. So let me know what you guys think. Just as a reminder for those people that just joined, like, this is the full-blown club. Like, they even had like in the club, there was even, look, check this out here, there was even like private rooms. Like, here, imagine a private, like, hold on a minute, it's even like a restaurant area. Look, do you see here, like restaurant area? Like, he basically broken down all this glass here. Like, you see this, all this glass, made this like a front. I'm not gonna lie, I might have even passed through here before. I don't even know, right? Also, there are celebrities that have passed through this bar. Shatawale has been here. Elakem the Tailor has been here. Black Sherif has been here. Stoneboy have been here. They've all turned up in this place. Just to think, that's somebody's property. That's somebody's hard-earned cash, which they put into making it a residential property. So look here, like, look at this. this, like this, the aerial view of the property. Can you imagine? Actually, let me just share my screen. I'm going to share with you what their property, what the actual, let me see if I can share my screen. I'm going to share with you, share screen. Let me see if I can share. Look, this is what their Instagram page looks like. So as you can see, it's not their actual Instagram page. It's an apartment. Somebody can rent out the apartment, a lounge, a restaurant, full-blown website, like a fully fledged business here. Okay. Like literally you've got the videos of like celebrities and people that have been turning up, like people that have been in there. Like literally you can see it's right here. There was a full-blown, but look, this is the swimming pool. Look, check out the swimming pool. So this is the swimming pool here. That was not there in the property before. So they've literally made it into a like literally a full-blown bar. As you can see here, the pictures, they even had like paint and sip days. Paint and sip days as well. So you can see that they had cabanas. They set up cabanas in the property. Like literally they had Thursday night events, like literally live bands going on. Like this guy. So my question to you guys, do you think the guy was smart? Like, was he smart? Like, there's celebrities all up in the place, you know? There were celebrities all up in the place. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I might even think that I might have passed through before. I don't even know. Because you look, sip and paint days, all of this like going on. They had a full-blown their Instagram page, Instagram channel, all there. You know, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, what you think if this was yeah, so much going on. I wonder why he wasn't paying rent. Yeah, like I wonder he was paying above rent and she was okay until the bell went off in her head. Yeah, I mean, you know, and then landlord was slow. Yep. Potentially nip it in the bud straight away. Let me see. Like, here's some comments that I found on my Instagram. Let me see if I can zoom. Like, I don't know if I can zoom in a bit. But basically, somebody said next time they need to install CCTV and they can watch. So this is my TikTok. Next time they need to install CCTV so they can watch the property. That's fair. So some of the things that I do tell people when they're buying property in Ghana, but bear in mind, remember, this wasn't an Airbnb. This is actually somebody who's rented it long term. So I guess there's certain rules, right? I mean, if you got somewhere rented out long term, you probably wouldn't put CCTV. Maybe you might put it outdoors. But let me know what you guys think. Like, would you have put it on like CCTV in the property if it's a long term? If it was Airbnb, it's different. But this was a long-term rental that they had. Somebody also said something else. Let me check it out. He upgraded the place and needs a refund. This person on my TikTok saying he upgraded the place and needs a refund on the property that the investment that he had made. As long as you're getting rent, why do you care? Okay, so somebody said like they get it, the person's getting rent, but here's the thing, right? The person had rented out in good faith as a residential property. So the only way that he heard that yeah, so somebody said that, yeah, it's true. Airbnb, that's not very clear. Airbnb is not allowed, and I have Airbnbs in Ghana as well. It's not allowed. CCTV is not allowed indoors, but outdoors is allowed. Outdoors is allowed. Okay. So, and you do make it very clear and transparent in your Airbnb listing that you have CCTV outdoors. So you are allowed it outdoors, and that's fully in your rights to do so. But for a long-term property, you wouldn't want to put it inside. But there again, it's long-term. I don't know, you know, I don't know. Did he spoil the property? He was paying his rent. He wasn't paying his rent though, you know, he wasn't paying his rent. But I mean, somebody's here saying as long as she's getting her rent, but that's not the point. That's not the point because she like, let me see something. Somebody else said something really early. The guy saw them as a bunch of helpless women. The cheek, the juju don't spoil. That is funny. Next time install CCTV. How would he ever get insured? You know, especially when it's a commercial property, you need insurance. So he probably lied and said this is his name's on the insurance documents, whatever it was. I was all for splitting the profits until I heard about the structural changes and the rent dodging. So somebody's there thinking like they could have like split the rent, split the rent, and then figure out like the fact that, so, you could be, what about, okay, what do you guys think? Do you think if you found out that the place was lively, it was a bar, so then maybe what you can then do, maybe switch up the contract and be like, okay, well, you pay me half, your income. Or I don't know. Maybe he would have been like, no, I paid you my rent already. But then he wasn't paying the rent. And then also bearing in mind as well, she could also be in breach because in Ghana there's zoning regulations. You can do commercial in only certain zones and residential in only certain zones. So bear that in mind as well. That's important to know. Somebody says, I don't see the problem. Can you imagine? Somebody says, I don't see the problem. The person was paying their rent, so-called. Like if they paid their rent, somebody said they don't like. At least you just posted this a few minutes ago, like a few hours ago. Somebody said brilliant though. It's located in Osu. Yeah. Nah, the bar name is rude. Okay, those of you that don't know what the name of the bar, the name of the bar is Chez Toi. If you guys know, if you guys speak French, put in the comments what you know Chez Toi means. I think it's a disrespect. I think it's actually a disrespect. Those of you that speak French, please put it in the comments what Chez Toi means. Put it in a comment what Chez Toi means. I think that's a disrespect. I think it's an actual disrespect. Yeah, CCTV in the house. Wouldn't have worked as somebody as cunning as him. He's very cunning, very, very cunning. And yeah, he would have probably dismantled it anyway. So yeah, I agree. I think he would have dismantled it anyway. For sure. In the contract, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was remember at the start of when I showed you her video, he had said to the tenant had said to her that he would be having it as a place where he's got foreign friends and they come and stay, and it will be almost like a subletting agreement is what I kind of gathered. So that's kind of what I kind of saw from what she had mentioned. Enjoyment, pa. Go and do your research. Can't believe, like, really. Yeah, like people have said different things. Placement lit though. Some people say the placement's lit. So like two different schools of thought. People are like, the guy is really, really smart, entrepreneurial. He rents out a place. It's in a really good area. He thought he's coming to build Bloomberg #2, coming to build like the Ali Bar #3. Like, he was like all coming like with his entrepreneurial. And look, it looked like the place was lit. Like the place, people were actually coming there. So really and truly, as a landlord, what are you doing to protect yourself? Maybe the contract, maybe we need to learn and be like, okay, in the contract, that it shall not be used for any other purpose other than that what is stated, which is residential purposes only. Otherwise, you are in breach of this. And or if I do find that you end up doing commercial property or commercial activities, I am then entitled for the future proceeds. I don't know if that would have held. But the reality is, what I believe that she could have fought for on the grounds of is the fact that it was a commercial property in the residential zone. So that full stop is a court order. That is a court order. And the fact that he wasn't even paying his rent, that's another court order. So that she did well to actually sue him, because you're not getting your rent at the end of the day. Let's see what other people have said in the comments. No offense, but they got a bit greedy from the first red flag, so should have kicked him out. I think somebody else in the YouTube have just mentioned that, yeah, if you saw the first red flags, then maybe it's time for you to have done what you should have done initially, right? And made already started to see that things were not quite going well. And then, so let me see what the comments are on my Instagram. Somebody said this is wild. Somebody said smart move. So some people, that's what I'm saying, there's two schools of thought. Some people are like, it's a smart move, like he was smart, he was entrepreneurial. I'm not going to tell you what side I am. Somebody says, hold on, you can't move forward in life and be successful as an entrepreneur. But yes, exactly. When it comes to scamming, like, you can't scam people. He's entrepreneurial, but there's only to some extent that things could go. So somebody said again on my Instagram, it took me 2 years. So somebody else has happened to somebody else. Somebody said, as he had the nerve not to pay, at least if he'd paid the rent, we could have gotten away with it. But he's greedy and selfish again. Can't wait to hear about the amount that he was that he'll be responsible for once she sues to him. Yeah, so they're going through that process at the moment. How do homeowners protect themselves? I think that's a really good question. How do homeowners? So, like what I said, full stop. There are zoning laws in Ghana. You're either zoned for residential or you're zoned for commercial. And then, of course, in the contract, make it clear that, you know, for those of you that do Airbnb, because there's times where I've had Airbnb properties and people come in, and you go and check out some of my videos on YouTube, you'll see there's times where people have requested to do pornographic. Let me not even say these before YouTube come and ban me. But it comes to adult content. That is it. That's what I'm going to say. Adult content. Okay. Adult content to the whole thing that, yeah, I've just seen some of the comments. Yeah, it's not really a nice situation. But so people have come to me and be like, they want to run a party, they want to do adult content, and then to the point that people come and smoke in your property. So normally you'll put down a deposit. Okay, so there'll be a deposit that you'll claim, and also in your contract and state if any of these things are in breach, then you are liable to either further fines and further penalties or court orders, etc. So I think there's certain things that you can put in place in the contract. In Ghana, you already know contracts and laws is very difficult, but at least when you have it in writing, you can then at least go to the court and say, look, this is what I agree, this is what the guy signed, here's his ID, here's his signature, here's his phone number, his Ghana card. Once you have the Ghana card and all of that stuff, you're good, you know. But the problem is you're going to have to go to court, and the court have to enforce the order as well. That is another problem with Ghana court system. The Ghana can say, the court say, yeah, you're in the right, but it's now enforcing the situation, which is another situation. Nobody commented what chez toi means. So you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys know. Chez toi basically means your house. The cheek of it. They even went to the state to call the property, the club, the bar, chez toi, your house. Can you imagine the rudeness? Diabolical. That's why I said this is actually diabolical. And you've got all club, you've got celebrities turning up in your property. You know, let's read some more of the comments. So okay, we've spoken a little bit about homeowners. And how to protect yourself as well when it comes to it. And somebody says, my country is of key. That is hilarious. Landlords are just sometimes haters. You see, there's two schools of thought. Some people are just like, do we just leave the person? And do we go to do? This person obviously is a renter who's renting his property and saying that landlords are some haters. That's hilarious. But it's also at the end of the day, you know, okay, yeah, getting the story now sad. Hard and yeah, for me that was where it is. The fact that this person's mum used their hard-earned retirement money to actually get the place back into order and then rent it out to generate income. That was meant to be sustainable rental income for her to live on for her retirement. Do you see what I mean? But he wasn't even paying the rent. If they wanted to do a bar, they could have done a bar. If they wanted to do a restaurant, they could have done a restaurant. But they wanted to just rent it out to a family. And he came with a good story, you know? So I don't blame them. But I think they should have put in more. I don't know. You never know what was in the contract. You don't know. Hell nah. Funny, not funny. This is unacceptable. Absolute breach of contract, you know? Absolute breach of contract. What he did was crazy, but he really specced up the place. He really specced up the place, charging whatever amount per month because it really worked out. So you could then end up negotiating with the guy and being like, okay, let's come to some kind of deal. But remember, she might be in breach. I keep going back to the point of zoning laws because remember, if her house is a residential, she would have then had to go to courts, change her property into a zone that is commercial, strike a deal with this guy. At the end of the day, like, to be fair, she could have maybe done that because he set it up. He's now got his. I've run a business in Ghana. I've run a nail salon in Ghana. And it's very difficult for you to then say, okay, look, I'm leaving this place to go and set up to another place, especially given how much effort he put into renovating the place. So it would have been very difficult for him to anyway go and move to another place. So they should have maybe struck a deal and then she could be entitled to some of his future revenues. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, somebody said that the guy sounds like a sociopath. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that. She could have maybe come up with some kind of deal to be entitled to the future revenue. Somebody says, I'm curious as he may be the same person who defrauded. Wow. Maybe this guy is going around doing similar things. Ghana, things are really happening. This is the reason why I do what I do on my channel, guys. So please make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so far already, because I'm all about uncovering stories like this. If you watched my Sukasa story, where people purchased property in Ghana, and after literally 3 years, they still haven't received their property. They paid all up front. Go and check out that live stream that I did with some of the interviewees. Some of the clients, sorry, or Sukasa situation, allegedly, who are going through the court situation. So go and check that out. So these stories are around. These stories are happening. But I'm all about making sure that people are protecting themselves when it comes to buying property in Ghana. But please, I hope this does not deter people from buying property in Ghana, because I think buying property in Ghana, as you can see, this guy, look, buying property in Ghana is lucrative. Having commercial property in Ghana is lucrative. Having residential property in Ghana is lucrative if you do it the right way. Somebody says they would, yeah, like to hear from the guy. I mean, the guy has a right to reply. If you are around and you want to give your side of the story, feel free to comment. Let's get you on a live stream and hear more about the situation as well. But yeah, some people will take the person to court. Yeah, I would have done as well. I think I'm team taking the guy to court, but maybe also striking a deal with him, because that's business. I'm a business person. I would have maybe found a deal. I don't know. Maybe it's not in my. Maybe it's actually not for me to be running lounges in my what I stand for. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole situation? I just want to know what everybody thinks about the situation. Like, it's mad. Look, DJ. I can't believe there was a whole full blown. Look at even the flooring. Like, he done the whole tiling, everything. They were turning up in here. This is what I was meant to talk about earlier on. So it was like, if anybody knows, what's that place in East Legon called, when you come from Underbridge and you are going to, if you come from Underbridge, there's a something residence. I like that place. It's like it's like this kind of setup. It's like a house. It's kind of like when you go and see where something pizza, what's it called? Well, there's Domino's Pizza, and then there is the other one, Peter Pan or something like that next to it. And they keep going a little bit down, just close to it. There's another place, something residence. I've just completely forgotten the name of it. And it's sort of like that. It's like a lounge, it's like a bar, but it's also like a place where you can potentially stay in. Some people that are going to stay there are not doing what we think they're going to do. Some people have other alternatives, but it's like there's also a kind of like a residence, so you can rent it out as well. Can you imagine? So you've got this whole place. They had private suites. They advertised the room, private suites. He done a lot. I'm not gonna lie. He done a lot. Look. He done a lot to this place. He done a lot. So then, yeah, they got the court order in. They did the court order. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll grab the lady and see if she wants to do a live interview. I think it would be good if we can get her on board and have a live interview. So yeah, guys, that is the story. That is the story of what happens when a tenant basically rented out their property, a house, to a tenant in Ghana, and he turned it into a bar. So that is the story for today, guys. I want to know what you guys think, so drop it in the comments. And please, if you haven't done so far already, please do check out my other future videos, my other videos on my channel as well. I know a lot of you guys have commented today on YouTube. You are my beloveds. That didn't sound right. You are my faves, because you guys, I can always see that you guys are always supporting. You guys are watching the videos as well. You guys are commenting. So I appreciate you guys, especially Slash and Burn, always around when I'm doing live. So I do appreciate you being here. So yeah, guys, please do continue to subscribe, share this video as well, comment. Please also, before I go, give this video a like, give it a like as well, share it, give it a thumbs up, and also drop it in the comments what you learned from today, which is just a whole lot. So guys, thank you so much. I'm going to call it an evening. Today is a very short live. Normally I do my lives a little bit longer, but yeah, I think This is a story and a half. This is a story and a half. So, guys, yeah, agreement should include some sort of insurance. Yes. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, you can have a signed contract in Ghana, but it's about the enforcement of it. That's the challenge in Ghana, is the enforcement of it. You know, but yeah, stating that there'll be penalties, because that way you can at least take the contract to the court system and say, look, he signed. Here's his ID. He signed. There was a witness. Get a witness involved, you know, and they signed. That way you can take it to the court. The court could award it to you. But the next problem then is the enforcement. That is then when the trouble then comes in. So, guys, I appreciate you guys joining me today on my live stream. I appreciate it. Though my voice was a bit croaky, you stuck around with me. One thing I want you guys to do in the comments for me, please. I'm really appreciating the people. I'm getting more and more subscribers, and I love it. Thank you, guys. I didn't expect it to go this big so fast. So please drop in the comments what the kind of things you want to see on my channel. There is a video that I want to do because I did run a nail salon in Ghana for 5 years, and I do want to do a live stream about that. So drop it in the comments if you're excited, if you want to learn more about that. Please put in the comments if you want to learn about that, or if there's anything else you want to learn about buying property in Ghana. Do it in the right way. For those of you that are interested as well, do sign up to join my next webinar, where I actually give you free information about how you can actually buy property in Ghana the right way safely. So go and check out. I'll probably put a link in the description below, but just check out diasporatohome.com/5-step masterclass. That is diasporatohome.com/5-step masterclass, and join my up-and-coming masterclass where I'll show you the steps in 5 steps in which you can purchase property in Ghana. So guys, I'm going to call it an evening. Have a great one wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for supporting me on my YouTube channel and my YouTube journey. Peace out. Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.